Hey everybody, welcome back. We're two poor kids. I'm Liz.
That's Tramp.
This is Tramp.
And I'm Christian.
Tramp, if you're watching on YouTube or on Instagram, this is our old man pup.
The forever puppy.
He's a forever puppy. You can't really see him because he is refusing to look at the camera. But he's a corgi golden retriever. And he's an old man, but he's always been a mama's boy. And right before we decided to record, he was just like, "Mom,
Hold me.
Mom, please take my little baby paws." Anyways, welcome back, everybody. We are excited that y'all are here. I think, episode is posting probably a little late or maybe a day later than usual because truthfully, like, we're humaning and that makes us a little late sometimes.
And if you didn't pick it up, the both of us have ADHD. And while I always get things done and we always get things done, sometimes they're not on time.
And I think that part of it was like a holiday this week. See you later. Goodbye.
I'm going to keep that in the video too.
I hope you do.
Yeah.
If I think that if we didn't have like a 3-day for myself, actually at like a 4-day weekend, it would have definitely happened. But but that's not what happened. And then today I was like, oh, it's Tuesday.
It's Tuesday.
It's Tuesday. We're due a podcast and usually post literally like 10, 12 hours ago. So,
yeah, I didn't do it.
I think that weighs more on us than it does on other people. But if you missed us, we missed you too. So today, I actually wanted to bring up a topic for us to sort of talk through in a few ways that I think that this shows up, because this topic that I'm going to bring up, I think, is fundamental to us, and it's also not something that is innate, and it is a little counterintuitive to what I think we're taught societally. So this is something that that Christian and I do, and it works for us, and thought that we should talk about how we're always a team. Is that like all of our wins and all of our losses are really like team wins and team losses. The work that we do on ourselves and with each other, like, that is part of the team. And so I don't think that there's a wrong way to do any of like this kind of work, as long as you're like doing it in tandem with your people. And but for us, it's always been about teamship. Go team!
When the power of our rings combine.
Captain Planet.
Captain Planet. Yeah, I think that has been true since the early days of Pullman.
Yeah.
Even before we were like a
thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess for me, when I like to, if you hadn't picked this up in the previous episodes, I just like to bring people with me.
This guy.
Yeah. So the only thing that makes sense to me is doing everything as a team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that when we were talking about, in a few episodes ago, or maybe last episode, maybe every episode, I don't know, we kind of talk about like our non-negotiables and like the foundation to which brought us to here a decade later, just about a decade later, because we're February. And one of those sort of non-negotiables, I think, for both of us, but it showed up in different ways, was like, we got to be in it together. And it's really evolved to something like, to be honest, and I don't think that this is unique to me, and I don't think that it's unique to you, but I think maybe talking about it publicly makes it a little bit unique. Like, I didn't know what like true love was. I didn't know what true teamship was. That being like a team or like not having something to fight about was the goal. Like I didn't understand that. I had no concept of realization because I didn't have a foundation that said that. My mom hustled hard for all of the things that my dad and my stepdad like wanted to do, and so she sacrificed and sacrificed and sacrificed to make sure that like their dreams and realities happened and continued to like put herself on the side. Like sure, the wins were theirs sort of, but my dad's, especially my stepdad, was like, this is my business or this is my whatever. So I didn't have a good foundation as to what a good team looked like.
Yeah, and I think that for me, I learned a lot about like the ideal relationship is a team, but I learned that in recovery, and I didn't know how to produce that because I had always been under the impression that you just find that one person that's the level of crazy that you can handle daily.
It's me. I'm the level.
And then you stick to that.
Yeah. I really hope you watch the last episode. He doesn't actually think that I'm crazy. We talked about this. Yeah. Not the last episode, but like the episode before. Because last time we played a game.
Yeah, I don't think that I put up with your crazy. But okay. For a long time. Blink twice.
Guys, I'm blinking.
For a long time, like that was the goal, was just to find somebody. And, you know, I also didn't really believe in true love or like a partner or soulmates. Guys. Yeah. You know, it's always nice to think about, like, sing about and like all the different songs and the bands and all this stuff. But like, I don't think that I felt anything more than infatuation for a lot of the people in my past. Yeah. Lust for sure. Love, not a lot.
Certainly not the way that you understand it today.
Yeah.
I think that I have had like a few great loves. And that it didn't look like, none of it looked like this, right? And so, I don't know. I was gonna say like unpopular opinion, but I don't think that anybody's opinion other than yours and mine matters. But like, our oldest dad was like a great love in my life, and is still our friend today. And I don't have those feelings anymore. Like neither of us do. He's married. I'm married. All the things, and I talked to him today. But he was like a great love of my life, but it didn't look or feel like this. And even though I think that we were good in many ways and that like we didn't fight or anything like that, but it's not the same kind of thing. Like I think that I was so immature, and because I was young. Like I was just young and I didn't know anything. I had no experience in the world. I didn't even know who I was or what I wanted. And that's probably true on both sides of that relationship to some extent. And so like even when I was like, yeah, we're a team because we were together all the time, like we never fought, like all the things, it's not the same. So when I wanted, like one of the things that I wanted to talk about here is a lot of like what a win looks like when the other person is winning, and even if even if it seems that to the outside perspective, I think a promotion is like a really easy way to have this conversation, and then we can talk in more details and more specifically about what that looks like. But a promotion at work, would you have received several promotions at work?
Yeah,
I've received like raises and I've gotten like different jobs, but you've been with the same like org for quite a while.
I just had 8 years.
Yeah. Wild.
Last week.
That's wild.
That is wild.
It's a long
I've had
time.
a job for 8 years. A single employer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you've had many roles in that. Like you've really climbed up.
More than half of my recovery has been
dedicated to that organization.
That's wild to me. It didn't even click until this moment.
We've had a few of those sort of like clicking moments related to your recovery in the past year, so I'm glad to just add another tally to that. So, I think a good example is that Christian gets a promotion, or I get a raise, or like move to a new job, something, right? Like that feels very like an individual win. Is like, good job, you did the hard work, you're getting recognized for all of that work. High five, how can we celebrate you? And like that's true, like to some extent, like yay, right? But one of the things that I think we really center ourselves in this idea of teamship, and when we had the conversation of like, what do we want our relationship to look like and what do we want it to feel like, right? So going back on some of our baseline non-negotiable conversations and then continuously revisit that over the past decade. Wild. Doesn't feel that long.
That's good.
Is right? And so we look at the holistic or the whole picture. We do a lot of like macro work. That's just how our brains often work. Is like, what are the pieces that helped lead to you being able to have a promotion or for me to get a new job or whatever it is? And everything comes back to the home base. Everything comes back to each other. It comes back to our family. It comes back to support. And so it not only is it like, yes, the family win, it feels like we all won because we talk about it all the time.
Yeah, I think a few points that I want to bring up with all of the things you just said. First of which, you and I are both very good at achieving something and then needing to move on to the next thing.
God, is this therapy or what?
So the other person has made an active choice to ensure that gets celebrated. And that is something that we aligned on.
Yeah.
My whole recovery and life after near death has been, what's the next thing I have to beat? So like my brain has been developed to just go and achieve, and then move on and the next thing.
So can we pause on that one while you remember what the second thing or whatever it is?
Probably.
Maybe.
If you're lucky. Keep going.
Oh, I'm lucky.
No, keep going.
So I think this probably happens for a lot of people who like have had to, I think, really start from the ground up in everything that they're doing, and they're like working, or if you're like a child of trauma, right, is like we're not taught to like celebrate our wins. And so what that authentically looks like is sometimes it's like days or even a week later that we're just like, oh yeah, by the way, like I did this really big thing at work. And like
Yes.
that happens to this day. It happens pretty regularly. And not because I think it's a conscious thought on either of us doing it. I think that we've just like minimized our wins or have learned to minimize our wins over a lifetime. That we're just like, oh yeah, did I tell you that like that like I like put on my conference last week and I got like tons of kudos and there was like 400 people in the crowd. And it's like, what? What are you talking about?
So speaking of that,
Oh God.
the factory that I just spent the past 3 years designing started production qualification this week.
Did it?
yesterday.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
I'm really proud of you. So how are we gonna
I don't know. I didn't even think about it until you said
until
that thing
right
I said.
now? Great example. And so like you'll get to play test with us in real time. The very next question that we usually say is, and how would we like to celebrate?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a little on the spot and we're recording. So
Let me get back from the place that it is.
That's fair. And so that's really exciting. You all didn't actually do a ribbon cutting.
No,
So like that whole piece kind of
it's all gone.
okay. So in reality, right? So it's like that is his work, but what's going to happen because we do this all the time is tomorrow we're going to have whatever you want to have for dinner. And then we're going to sit as a family and we're going to talk about like the pieces that took for us to get here. And this is why it's this specific win is a great example as to why this is a familial win. It took a lot of sacrifice for everybody in the family, for both of our daughters, for you and me, and for probably like our whole circle, like our 5 closest friends, to put up with our nonsense because you were back and forth every other week for 5 months.
Yep.
And so that meant that our household was in complete disarray. Mind you, this was last year. And so our oldest was graduating high school. She was like in her senior year. She did track. And so like he had to miss a lot of things. And I don't know if y'all have had that experience, but like our family knit is close. And so when a thread is missing, like you can tell it's not like we operate and we function, but it feels different. And so it was a lot of sacrifice. And there were a lot of times where you were like, yeah, I'm out. I'm done. I can't keep doing this.
Yeah. And like traveling like that is I don't want to get too far off topic, but to your point is that I leave on Sunday. I get back Friday night, possibly Saturday. It takes me 2 or 3 days to get back into the family life. It's Wednesday, if I'm lucky. And then
you're getting ready to
then I
do
basically
laundry
have
and
to get
pack
ready
again on Saturday.
Yeah.
To leave again the following Sunday.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that was that way for 6 months.
So, like a very long time. It was a long time, and then like promised that it was going to be more travel, and at some point you had to put your foot down and be like,
Yeah,
no.
I basically told my boss I can't keep doing this. I was starting to lose my mind.
Mm-hmm.
I had never felt more unstable and alone and isolated and just stuck in logic mode.
Yeah, and we could feel that at home too, right? Like there was like things felt.
I was just constantly problem solving and I couldn't turn it off.
Yeah. Is that you didn't hit family mode.
Yeah.
When you were home. And we also were just like, we now have an established groove, and it was like a lot of stop and go. So, like yay to you for real. It's such a big deal. And I'm also like really proud that we made it through what it feels like the hardest traveling of our decade together.
Yep.
That was a
I would have rather
time.
been gone for 6 weeks again.
Yeah, I agree. Which is a hard thing to say because that was also terrible. Is that I think that the back and forth was actually worse.
Yes.
In the future,
hard.
Yeah, in the future, if we could just knock out this in 6 weeks nonstop, let's do that.
Yeah.
But like the more you know and the more you learn. And then we'll celebrate this together and explain it to both of our kids, even though one of our kids is away at college. But like this was her sacrifice and her win too. And one day we'll go and get to see that facility and we'll get to like participate and celebrate accordingly. And it's also kind of nice to know that like you can't get called back there for the same things.
Yep.
Other things, which is why you're going back now, but not the same things.
Yeah. I finished the stuff that I was responsible for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I have to go finish what other people were responsible for.
Look, the cleanup crew also happens to be the setup crew. I don't know. when you're both, I don't know.
Yep. So the second thing I was going to
Okay.
bring up,
Yep.
if I could remember how I was going to say it, and I think it aligns to this, is that we have pretty consistently at dinner time,
I was gonna bring this up.
the like 98% of the time the TV is off. We sit down at the couch on our little dinner table thing, and we talk about our days, the good, the bad, the things we didn't like, the things we did like, because both are important.
Yes.
And that is why the whole family celebrates the wins.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So that was going to be one of the things that I brought up is, so we have a few TVs in our house. We actually watch so little TV. There are like, we'll go through, I think, stints where we'll like watch a show.
We did watch the Beast Games,
We did watch the Beast Games.
though we still haven't finished it.
Well, it only releases every Wednesday, so I don't think that there's a new episode out yet.
It's definitely trash TV, but it's kind of cool.
That's fair. But like we really are hustling hard, and that like our connection points, we don't have as much time together, I think, during any given day that we would like to have. So like the choices that we make on the average day is usually don't have the TV on. Let's talk about our days. And so this is how the conversation goes. Everybody's sitting down. Also to say, like, we try as a family to the best of our ability to eat dinner together all of the time. That's not always how it goes. Like sometimes one of us is like too hungry or like something is happening and it's too late or
home late.
yeah. Something like that, but that everything sort of pauses and we try to have this time together, even if it's really late. And so there's probably some field for thought for like not having food for too late or too late at night, which of course there is, or your kids not eating food too late, which of course there is. But like it's such a great touch point for us. And so we go around and it's like a you pick style. So whoever is the first to shares like, how was your day today? And then what, was your favorite part of your day and what was your least favorite part of your day? We used to do it just like that. And I think that we have come a little bit away from like favorite part of your day, least favorite part of your day. We've now like really like, so that the day didn't get synthesized into two moments, especially because we're trying to teach the 4-year-old about, please tell us more of your day, because she'll be like, I don't know, I didn't do anything. And so the reason that we do that is it's so important to understand, like that the world is not just the bad stuff and it's not just the good stuff. And we also sort of created this rule when we first started this idea, probably like 6 years ago or something. If you're complaining about the exact same thing every single day, then either you need to pivot to not complain about that thing every day so that your mind starts to shift. If you're always complaining about work and work continues to be the worst thing all of the time and you find yourself complaining or commenting on that being the worst part of your day for 2 weeks or so in a row, we were like, okay, so we're going to choose something else. Because if we're going to continue to perpetuate this idea about whatever the thing is, then it just continues to breed negativity. The other really fun rule about this, so if you want to do this like in your life, because I think that it works quite well, is and this one is kind of funny, is sometimes your least favorite part of your day which is to say it doesn't have to be the worst part of the day, but sometimes the least favorite part of your day has to do with somebody else that's in the room. And since like the dinner time sharing is supposed to be about like community and family building and really understanding where we're at, but we also don't want it to turn into an argument. You're not allowed to name people in the room. so, so, so you can name like a time and be like, oh, at 3:30 today, somebody, somebody, I don't know, whatever. Somebody said something or did something. And it kind of became a joke because, and it was always sort of a joke, but it was the caveat to like, what if my least favorite part of the day is that Christian and I got into an argument, or that one of the kids was supposed to do something and then they didn't, or whatever, right? And so it sort of turned into a joke because if you like quit listening to somebody share, like the other sort of rule of this is that we all like stop and we wait and we like don't get up and start doing other things. We don't look at our phones. And we want to be attentive and present. And so the joke was like, oh, at what time is it? Oh, at 7:15 p.m. somebody like quit listening to my share and started playing around on their phone. And then and although that's funny, it was a really good and gentle way to sort of call back to the moment, because there have been times where people have been like, oh man, I just didn't even realize it. It's so second nature to pick up my phone and see what that buzz was or whatever.
There should have been signs.
Sure, yeah. And then also we used to do, and I think never intended to get away from this, but it was probably 5 weeks or 5 months back and forth, 6 months back and forth every other week. But since I've been talking for so long, how do you want to talk about how like the top of the week conversation goes?
Yeah, so so on Sunday is the restart day. So
in theory,
I had been, my traveling only stopped at the beginning of November. Mm-hmm. So, and between November and December and everything in January, it's like we packed so much stuff in there. And March is probably our month, I'm sure. We reset on Sunday. So what that looks like is everyone cleans the house, we go out, we meal prep, we get whatever food for the week, get all the kind of the weekly chores taken care of, aside from the babe blowing up in the living room every day.
Shout out to everybody who has somebody 5 and under. How are we doing it? How are we making it through? How is the house ever prepared enough for other people to visit? Oh, it's not.
Yeah, I had to work through that. And now I'm just like, all right, well, whoever's coming's coming. And, when Emma, or when our oldest was here, the rule was that if she cleaned after school every day, then she wouldn't have to
do Sunday chores.
But if she didn't, then she was in it. And so after cleaning and doing any meal prep and getting the food ready, then we have a hangout time. Whether or not that be video games or someone has to do some work while sitting on the couch or watching shows. Then we have dinner. So goal setting is what happens during that time. Like, what was your favorite part of the week? What was your least favorite part of the week? How would you say your week went? And what are we looking forward to for the next week? And what are some goals that we have for the next week?
Yep.
Yeah.
Which was great. So like, and works at every age. And so for our teenager, It was like, ooh, I'm gonna like my goal is to finish writing this paper, or in track season was to, gain to PR in this, or to whatever it is. And for us, right, like it was um that like I'm gonna finish this project or this presentation, or I'm gonna show up in this way, or I'm gonna try and like cook this for dinner this week. Because try as you might, it I don't know. It just doesn't it matters some weeks how well you prep and how much you got all of the tools to make everything. Sometimes you just can't follow the plan.
Yep. I just had a random thought in my head is
Love it.
that we for a while there we were trying new things and like learning to cook together.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Ooh, this weekend maybe we should make tamales or dumplings or something."
I love that. We should.
Because we learned how to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So, to your point, sometimes the week falls apart. And what we were doing was like, if that happened consistently, then we were doing midweek check-ins. Like, how's your goals going? Like, how can we support your completion?
Yeah.
Back to the whole team idea.
Exactly.
And I think that this will also lead into one of the things I want to make sure that gets brought up, but keep going.
Oh, I'm listening.
Oh, so the other part of that is relationships are not 50-50.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's 50-50. That's true. But the expectation that everything's going to be half and half all the time, that's just not a fact. Like, sometimes it's 90-10. Sometimes it's 100-0. Sometimes it's 60-40, whatever.
Yeah.
And it's not the way that we have operated our relationship does not lead to resentments, though we have our own mental traumas that tell us that we're pieces of shit when we don't get
Right.
out there
Like
and clean when someone else is
we
cleaning.
paint our own stories, and have decided how the other person is feeling because we feel guilt and shame and despair. And honestly, those are just signs of depression.
Also,
and mental
trauma.
and trauma. Gosh, that was cute of you.
Thanks.
Trauma.
I should have
Yeah.
probably did it to the mic, though. Trauma.
Tink. I think that's a really great point. And I was going to mention about Sundays is that we would go a whole week and we do. So we go a whole week and we're like, "Hey, did we complete our goal?" And if we didn't complete our goal, then we have the option to keep that goal. And like there's no rules, and so you
Yeah.
always have the option to keep the goal. But and then with those midweek check-ins is like, so if we don't complete a goal, it's an automatic cue for everybody else in the family to step in and say, how can I help you make your goal? And so what I love about this is that it's what we taught our kids. And so I hope that our oldest is in college and that this is what she's doing. But she's like free for the first time, so who really knows what's happening?
You kind of do.
I know what's happening. I know what's happening.
She knows what's happening.
I do. And it's okay. Live life responsibly and safely, please. XOXO, I love you. So,
Don't fall out of a balcony.
God, don't do that. That's bad for living. Knock, knock, indeed. So, right. I would say, yes, like relationships are not 50-50, although I think that often we're taught that it's 50-50, or that we feel, sorry, this is going to be a little one-sided, but like that, like, depending on what sort of societal stream you're on, that it might feel like it's 60-40 or 70-30. Women probably feel like they're expected to like lift a lot of the household chores or do all of these things and whatever. So we also had that conversation. Men are probably, I don't know, what is the stereotypical men stuff? Take care of the car.
Get the oil changed.
Get the oil changed.
Bring in all the money. Cut the wood.
I'm a much better woodcutter than he is.
Yeah, I'm pretty awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
But I still know how to throw an axe.
Very important. Men. Manly. But honestly, sometimes the relationship is like we're both doing 10 and 10. Sometimes it's not that we even like make it to 100%. Although like it's always with like love, attempting to provide gratitude for each other, usually failing to provide gratitude for ourselves, and this is why we're in therapy and continue to talk about it. But like sometimes we're just potatoes. And we're just like both potatoes of depression. And that sometimes for us probably only lasts, truth be told, a little bit of time before we go manic and think that we're doing like poorly and then have to like overachieve. And so that is to say that behavior I don't think is something to like strive for, but it is the thing that continues to show up in therapy for me anyways. And I'm sure that you are aware, like, I'm in therapy every single week, probably for the foreseeable future. I fear the day that my therapist has asked me like 2 or 3 times now what I think about going to every other week. And I'm like, no, I'm not ready. And I'm not ready. So, yeah, sometimes it's not 50-50. Sometimes it's not even 100%. Sometimes we're just like coexisting near each other. And that has to be enough. But it doesn't stay that way. So I'll say like, I a great sort of mention of that teamship and what I'll say in my mind feels like 90-10 is like 90% Christian and 10% me, which is probably not real, but that's like what the thing in my head is. Like I've had a terrible bout with depression this year. I think you probably feel the same way about yourself, but like for myself, I like authentically of like, God, I'm failing at all of the things. And logically, I know that's not true, and I know that's not real.
We're actually failing at nothing.
As it turns out. But it feels like, I think that I also then, I struggle, and this is a trauma response, and I see things about it that make me, like, I see, like, other social media posts from, like, psychologists or therapists, and I'm just like, this is rude, for sure, but, if I'm, like, doing nothing, but, like, reading a book or watching a show, and I've, like, taken one of my very few days off that I allow myself to have, and I hear your car coming, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I better do something.
What?
Yeah, I do. I do. And never once have you been like,
why is my food not cooked?
or like, oh, the house is a mess and you're sitting here doing nothing.
No, I'll just clean it myself.
That's not right. That sounds terrible to me. And that's like, that's the trauma, right? And so like, those are the pieces that I think I still work through. That is like very long lasting, predates every relationship I've ever been. Not every relationship, but like certainly like teenagers. I was like, this is my teenage and younger years showing up that like to do nothing must equate to laziness, which was last week's topic in therapy, by the way. That's not actually, sorry, in my brain that's what it is. I should say doing nothing does not equate to laziness. In fact, let me be clear. That's not real. I know that's not real. I would never think that of anybody else, but it's a struggle that I have internally. I would never say that to anybody else or believe it, but my brain believes it about myself. And I believe thoroughly that rest is productive. From like a molecular level, that's true, and from like a mental health level, that's true. Is like you have to have rest. And I feel guilty when I rest.
Yeah, I too feel guilty when I rest, which is why I
Don't.
don't.
Yeah.
And you, my therapist keeps telling me week after week, you really need to focus on self-care. And I tell her, I don't have time for that.
Mm.
I don't know how to. Probably from coming back from the travel still, but even like maybe I was a little better beforehand, but I I don't know how to slow down right now.
Yeah. And today you did a little bit of self care, but I think that there's also some like you went to go get your tan on,
Yeah, that's true.
right? So like I think micro amounts of self care at a time. And so this is another example that I would say as a team. And so there if you've never been to therapy, there is no expectation that you ever talk to anybody other than your therapist about what's happening in therapy. I also say do not pressure your partner or partners or your loved ones to tell you about what they're doing in therapy. That's not a great idea. Um uh yeah, don't do that. And I think that part of our teamship is that we have some sort of like a check-in every time we have therapy. It's like, how are you doing? We might not talk about all the things that we talk about in therapy, um
But
but
it's
we kind of do.
but it's how could I support you post therapy?
Right, how can I support you, right? And so like when you have therapy and it's during the week, Christian usually here's some like here's some insight is that Christian usually picks up the 4-year-old in the afternoon from my mom, and I usually drop her off in the morning. So like that's usually how our day goes. But on the days where he has therapy, and his therapy is the all therapy is hard, but his is really hard. And
I'm rewiring my brain.
right. I'm doing chitty chat therapy and you're not. I mean, you are sometimes, but
Yeah, so I go in, or I do the hard rewiring synapse thing
yep.
twice a month
Yep.
on the weekend now.
On the weekend now. And when it was during the week, and it had been every week until last summer.
When I was gone.
When I bring you back to being gone every other week for 5 months. And so then I would ask, like, hey, do you want me to pick up the babe afterwards? Because therapy is hard and the processing is tough. And all types of therapy. That's just real.
Yeah.
Even though like it's his quote unquote job, not really, but like job to pick up the baby, or like the expectation that we've just sort of created, because that's the side of town that you work on.
We have the most amount of time together when I pick up the babe
Yes.
after work.
Yes. Yeah, and that's always the goal. I guess that's also always the goal is like what are the things that we're doing to maximize our time together.
Yeah.
And that's all I want at the end of every day is to spend time with you.
Yep. And conveniently for me is I go to work in earlier normally than you do get in there because you drop the babe off. And then I get out a little earlier. And since she's almost always napping during that time, I end up going to the gym. And then by the time I get out of the gym, she's waking up and eating, and I pick her up when I come home.
Yep. Yeah. What was the other part you were going to talk about?
Oh, that's gone. I don't know.
Friends. I want to like find it. I'm sure it was important.
No, it'll probably come another time.
Okay.
It's gone.
It's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think there's a balance between individual successes and team wins. But I also think that every time it has both. And that's not like I know for a fact that's not how a lot of people operate, and that they really celebrate the I. But I think that we are so focused on the we. And it's made 10 years feel like not 10 years.
individually, I and you have achieved some seriously notable things.
Yes.
And I don't believe that my stuff would have been possible without us.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, guys, I speak at conferences.
Yeah, you do.
I'm a conference speaker.
Did you apply to the other one?
Not yet.
Better do it.
I know I will. We are the owner of 2 different businesses, and you're working on a third. With 3 different levers of business. Like, we're doing so many cool things.
Yeah,
and we have also regular 9 to 5 jobs.
Yeah, we currently have 3 businesses. Working on a 4th one.
I think we operate 3 businesses, but we only have 2 business licenses.
Oh.
Yeah. It's a DBA. You can operate under it.
Oh, all right.
Got it. And you're working on a third, right? And so then, and we run 2 weekly podcasts. So I'm on another podcast with our good friend Natalia, where we talk about books and fantasy and just like we're silly. It's just silly times. And then you have 2 other podcasts that you're helping lead. One that is like you're essentially the host of.
I am. Yeah.
Yeah.
That one's a secret.
It is. TBD. Many secrets over here. But like what you all don't know yet, and you will, in thinking about like the individual things and the long run, is that we're always talking about the long game. And so there are a lot of things that are coming out in the next year, 2 years, and maybe a little bit more, that like we're already planning for, and we're laying the foundation for the success of that work. And it feels really exciting. And we take, I thought what was really fun and interesting is like we take like less than desirable outcomes, and then we're always like, man, I think that I could do that better. I think that we could really turn this into something. And that like literally is the foundation of one of our businesses, is that we were like, I think we could do that better than somebody else.
It has been noted by a few people that we participate with, is that we reverse engineer. Yeah. If we know the outcome, we can figure out all the steps to do it and do it differently and do it better.
Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what we're working on with a long time frame.
Yep.
It's pretty cool.
We're very good at strategic planning, which, comes back to our ability to set goals and focus on goals and understand the steps and to get to a future state. We're the future people.
We are the future people.
We put a lot of value in doing work up front to put us in a better position in the future. We understand the long game.
Yeah. And I think that when it comes to problem solving and logicking, we're pretty locked in. I also think that at 10 years in, the most logical thing for us to do is to go to therapy and undo the harms and the trauma of the past, which ironically it means that we're constantly learning how, I think, to understand what emotions are. Not that we're robots, because we're clearly not robots, and I think that we often think of ourselves as fairly robotic, but man, it's hard being a...
Feelings are hard, man.
Feelings are hard, man.
I watched Inside Out lots of times, and I still can't identify feelings very well. So just so you guys know, while we're very cool at a lot of things, we're not good at everything.
We're definitely not.
And apparently, it has been thrown in our face several times, especially this weekend, that we are terrible at identifying our feelings.
What happened this weekend?
We took a class.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
We did take a class.
Why are you blushing, wife?
I don't know. I love you so much. It's Valentine's Day. Woo! I forgot.
I'm very good at a new skill. That's what we found out. But
Yes.
apparently, even that has feelings attached to it.
Yeah, and it makes sense that it does, right?
Yeah.
Feelings. If you all are like Liz, I've never seen Liz blush. This is the episode for you. My God.
Tagline: Liz blushes in this one.
She's the one where Liz blushes.
The one where Liz blushes.
So I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, I think we have a lot more to share on Teamship.
Teamship? No. Team mating? No.
Yeah. But for now, that's the end of this one. It's bedtime.
It's bedtime. Good night, everybody.
Bye, friends.
See you later. Bye.
Bye. Nailed it.